Hello, I'm Annie Fox, and today I'll be guiding you through a full-length 60-minute VINYASA flow full body reset. With this kind of a reset, detox, like cleansing-esque theme, we're going to really be focusing on releasing any of the negative energies or the lack of energy thereof from our bodies and welcoming in new, positive, good energy that we can take with us throughout our day or throughout our week. So to begin, we'll start in a comfortable seated position and bring awareness to your breath. Just noticing how it naturally breathes right here. Maybe soften the gaze or close the eyes to really bring all of that focus to the breath. From here, we're going to take a deep inhale and then exhale for 5 counts. Inhale, exhale for 5 counts. Keep inhaling and exhaling like this. Just breathing in and then slowing that exhale, counting in your mind. Take this time to really notice everything going on with your breath. How your stomach and chest fill on the inhale. Notice any sensations in your nose, in your throat. On your next inhale, exhale for 6 counts. Slowing the breath a little further. Inhale again. And exhale 6 counts. Inhale. Exhale 6 counts. Inhale. Exhale for 7 counts. Inhale. Exhale 7 counts, slowing the breath further. Inhale. Exhale 7 counts. Inhale. Exhale for 8 counts. Inhale. Filling everything, and exhale 8 counts. One last deep inhale. And exhale for 8 counts. ahead and bring your breath back to a normal state. Not worrying about counting or manipulating it in any way. Notice how your breath may feel after that brief exercise. Maybe it feels more steady. Maybe it's slower, fuller. Just noticing what's there. From here, with your eyes still closed or softened, on your next inhale, rise the arms up. And on the exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Inhale, rise the arms up. And exhale, bringing them through heart center. As you inhale and stretch the arms out, really stretch the fingertips as far as they can go, challenging your wingspan. Feeling all of the muscles from your fingertips through your back engaging. With the inhales and exhales here, we're really practicing connecting that breath to our body. Feel that connection grow as you continue to breathe in and out. One last deep inhale. And exhale. Release the hands to heart center. And slowly open your eyes. From here, we're going to take some movement, begin to wake the body up with some head rolls. Let's go ahead and take your head and tilt it to one side and slowly roll your head and your chin in a wide circle. Feeling all of the sensations in your neck. Noticing every point where it stretches or contracts. Taking things slow and roll your head to the other side. Opening everything up. And go ahead and bring your head back to a neutral position. From here, we're going to inhale, rise the right arm up, placing the left hand firm on our mat, and we're going to exhale, tilt our head over to our right. Gently stretching the side of our neck there. You definitely want to use that right hand to help guide your head, but don't put too much pressure. We don't want to hurt the neck in any way. Feel yourself releasing any tension in the shoulders and in the neck here. All the tensions you may have been building up. And inhale, release the right arm, floating it down, and rise the left arm. And place it on the side of your head there, and lean your head over to the left. Stretching on the other side. Breathing here. Just fully relaxing into it and letting go. release that arm and exhale, reaching the right arm up and over. We're going to come into a nice side stretch here. If this feels good, just go ahead and stay here with your arm placed out, left arm placed out as support. If you can go a little further, then feel free to move that left arm, left forearm down to the floor and stretch all the way over. Maybe bring your head down and just relax everything into this. Still keeping that side body engaged, that arm engaged, not releasing everything here. And inhale, rising up. Exhale, tilt to the other side with the left arm rising over this time. And release that side body as you lower down, offering support from that right arm. Maybe switch your legs here to even out that stretch on both sides. Inhale, rise back up to a neutral position. And we're going to move into a tabletop position on our mat. Now, my wrists have been bothering me a little bit lately, so I'll be taking some modified poses to release tension on the wrists. You can either go up onto your fists, take this position here, or in tabletop you can come onto your forearms. So taking whatever modification feels good to you, or just staying in tabletop if that feels good as well. And from here we're going to do a few rounds of cat and cow. So from here, breathe in, tilt the tailbone up, tuck the abdomen down to cow. And then as you exhale, round everything, pushing that spine up as much as you can into cat. Inhale, releasing everything down, and exhale, pushing everything out of your lungs. Inhale, filling up, looking up, and exhale. Continue like this with each inhale and exhale, or feel free to explore some other movements in the body, maybe doing some side action with the spine, exhaling, twisting to one side, inhaling through center, exhaling to the other side, bringing your left hip and left shoulder close to each other, and then bringing the right hip and right shoulder together. Maybe with the cat and cows, you'll begin circling around, really feeling that spine wake up. Just take whatever movement feels good here. Or maybe just sticking with the normal cat and cow. And exhale, release everything back down to that neutral position. From here, raise the right arm up, noting your range of motion here, where it likes to stop. And then we're going to float that right arm down underneath between our left leg and left arm and start to stretch it out, stopping when we either reach our head to the floor, or if you want to bring in a block or firm pillow of some kind to support your head right here, then that works too. But just coming all the way down, thread the needle. Now here my hips always like to push forward a little bit, so I just make sure to pull them back into that neutral position and let all of the twist happen through the spine, not letting my legs take away any of that sensation. And you can go ahead and leave your left arm placed right here, or you can bring it out in front of you to get a more intense stretch through that left shoulder. Or if it's available to you, you can go ahead and lift it up and over behind your back, and then grab onto your right thigh and come into a bind. From here, I like to really press my right arm into the floor, engaging those muscles and getting a fuller stretch here. And then I like to try and, as I'm pushing with my right arm, lift a little bit more with that left shoulder, just bringing myself a little further into the stretch. One more breath here. Inhale, releasing that left arm if it was in the bind, placing it firmly on the ground and lifting back up. And bring that right arm all the way up and note where your range of motion may be now. Maybe it's a little bit further, a little bit looser. From here, back in tabletop position, we're going to raise our left arm and thread the needle on the left side. And then we're going to thread it underneath our right arm and right leg. Again, my hips like to shift to the side, so making sure just to shift them back to that neutral position, and then bringing the arm, either leaving the arm just in front of you, bringing it out to get a stretch in that right shoulder, or bringing it behind to come into that bind. And just hold here for a few breaths, pressing into the left arm. Inhale, releasing the right arm, placing it firm on the mat, and lifting up, noting where your range of motion is now, and coming back to a tabletop position. Let's see. All right, now from here, go ahead and tuck the toes, maybe lift up and to standing, and come to the top of your mat. We're going to start building some heat in the body, and we're going to go through 3 rounds of Sun Salutation A and then 3 rounds of Sun Salutation B, all back to back. So we'll really begin to build some momentum and build some heat in the body. Now, as I said, my wrists have been bothering me a little bit lately, so I'm going to start out by showing you the most common version of Sun Salutation A. If you want to follow that version throughout your practice, feel free. But then moving forward, as we actually get into what we're about to do, then I will show you some of the modifications that I will be making for my wrists. So just as an example, Sun Salutation A most commonly looks like this, where you inhale, rise up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, step back through plank and chaturanga, inhale to upward facing dog, and then exhale to downward facing dog. You hold here for a few breaths, and then you inhale, step or hop to the front of your mat and come into a halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold, and then inhale, rising up, and exhale to back to standing. So that's the most common version. Feel free to take that version as we go throughout our Sun Salutations, but I'll go ahead and show you the modified version. We'll start with our 3 Sun Salutation A's. So this is no longer a demonstration. Go ahead and follow along with me. I'll just be taking the modifications like I said before. So coming up to the front of your mat, standing tall here, really root through all four corners of the feet here, engage all the muscles, engage the core, and maybe tucking the tailbone in just a little bit, and maybe even engaging the back and the arms, lengthen the spine, stand tall here. Even when we're just standing, we want to make sure to engage everything to maintain the energy that we build as we go throughout our sun salutations. So from here, inhale, rising the arms up, maybe looking up. Exhale, forward fold, maybe having a slight bend in the knees. Relaxing here, relaxing the head. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale. So for my modification, I'm just going to step back with my knees and enter into a plank with my forearms on the floor here. And then lower to the floor. Inhale. I'm going to come up into Cobra, modification for upward facing dog. And then exhale. I'm going to sit back either into child's pose to rest those wrists or coming into a dolphin pose. Definitely, I need to warm up a little bit more today, so I'm going to start with my knees bent and my heels not touching the floor, just really trying to keep that spine straight and lengthening. Hold here for a few breaths. On the inhale, step or hop to the front of your mat and come into a halfway lift, extending that spine. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, rising all the way up through the spine, lifting the arms. Exhale, mountain pose, standing tall here. And then straight into the next sun salutation A. Inhale, rise the arms up. And exhale, releasing down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back through plank and chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here for 4 counts, for 4 breaths. Inhaling, step or hop to the front of your mat. Come into a halfway lift, extending the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising up, slowly lifting the head last, reaching the arms up. And exhale, back to standing. Inhale, rise the arms up. Reaching as far as you can. Exhale, release down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine, through the neck. Exhale, step back into plank and chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, coming into downward facing dog. And hold here for 4 breaths. Taking child's pose as needed. Inhaling, step or hop to the front of your mat. Come into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising up, reaching as far as you can, and exhale, mountain pose. From here, we're going to head into our sun salutation B. Inhale, raising the arms and lowering into chair pose, keeping our weight towards the back, holding here for a moment. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back into chaturanga and lowering down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, coming back into our downward facing dog. And from here, if you're in a regular downward facing dog, keeping the knees bent as needed so that you can maintain that straight spine. From here, we're going to step our left foot up and try and just step it up between your hands. And then as we come up into our warrior one, rotating that back foot to about a 45-degree angle out, not all the way rotated out, so that can create tension in our lower spine or lower back. So just keeping it at a soft 45-ish degree angle, making sure that the ankle is over the knee, and then raising the arms up, keeping our chest and our hips faced forward, feeling all of that forward energy. So we can come here and then exhale, and we can step back through chaturanga, lowering down, inhaling through up dog or cobra. Exhale back into our downward dog. If you're in a modified version of downward dog, this time we're going to take the right foot. I just come onto my knees and go ahead and step that foot up without putting strain on my wrists. And then this time with the right foot in front, ankle directly under the knee, back left leg at a 45-ish degree angle, keeping the hips, chest, and everything faced forward, really bringing energy into those arms all the way up through the fingertips, through the crown of the head. And exhale, stepping back down through plank and chaturanga. And inhale through up dog or down or cobra. And then exhale back into downward dog. And hold here for a few breaths. Inhaling, step or hop to the front of your mat. Come into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising up, keeping those knees bent into a chair pose. Nice and strong here. And exhale, releasing to standing. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping our left foot up and rising, placing that did I say right foot? I meant left foot. Stepping that left leg up, placing the right heel on the floor, keeping everything faced forward, rising the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, coming through plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, Stepping that right foot up this time, placing that left heel on the floor, keeping everything straight and strong, raising the arms up, holding here, feeling length through the spine. Try not to lean too far forward or too far back in this pose. Keep everything nice and center. And exhale, bringing everything back down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And hold here for a few breaths. Inhaling, stepping or hopping to the front of our mat, coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising up, dropping those, keeping those knees bent, dropping back into chair pose. And exhale, releasing to standing. One last sun salutation B. Inhale, really reach those arms up, taking up as much space as possible, reaching as far as you can. Exhale, float down, releasing everything into the floor. Maybe that slight bend in the knees, keeping everything soft and loose. Inhale, breathe. Imagining that there's a string through your spine, straightening that spine through halfway lift. And exhale, coming through plank and chaturanga, lowering to the floor slowly. Inhale, up dog or cobra, maybe stretching that back a little bit further than you did last time. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. And inhale, stepping that left leg up, rising up, dropping the right heel, lifting the arms. Warrior one. Exhale, dropping everything back down through chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping that right foot up, dropping that left heel, raising everything up, keeping that spine straight, all the energy facing forward, straight ahead of you. And exhale, dropping everything back down and through plank and chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhaling, step or hop to the front of your mat, coming into a halfway lift, extending the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rising up to chair pose. And exhale, release to standing. Standing tall here. Notice where your body's at, where maybe the heat is building and rising within you. Here, maybe out loud or just silently, tell yourself, I am strong. And with this practice, with this strength inside you, you have the power to let go, to release any of the negative thoughts, feelings, or energy in your life. And from this point on, we can begin welcoming in that new positive energy. Excellent. From here, going to some standing balancing poses, we're going to really challenge our balance here. So from this position, we're going to exhale and lower back into chair pose. And from here, we're going to take that right arm and place it on the outside of our left knee. And maybe just come into a twist here, feeling a twist through our spine. Try not let the legs come out of alignment here. Try and just keep them in that strong chair pose. Don't let your hips be moving around at all while you do this. Stretch, I definitely find mine tend to do that. If this feels good, stay here. If you want something a little deeper, take your hands at heart center and place the right elbow on the outside of that left knee. This is really where I notice my hips like to move. So just keeping yourself focused there. And go ahead and press in with that left hand onto that right hand there. Press into it and open the chest to the side. Opening your heart. This is a very good deep twist here. And you might feel a stretch in the shoulder as well. One more breath here. Maybe pressing a little further on the exhale. And on the next exhale, go ahead and release everything. Come back to standing. And then on our next exhale, dropping back down, this time coming to the other side, placing the left hand on the outside of the right knee and twisting to our right. Or taking the hands at heart center, placing the left elbow on the outside of that right knee, and then pressing with the right hand this time. Making sure to keep ourselves strong in this chair pose, not allowing it to collapse while we're doing this. Twist. One last deep inhale. Exhale, push a little bit further, and then release everything, rising back up through standing. From here, inhale, raise the left leg up. We want it to try and bring it to as high as we can to like a 90-ish degree angle here. If this is too much, you can go ahead and keep your leg on the floor with the ball of your left foot on the floor. Keep trying to keep at least the heel raised up a bit. From here, either down on the floor or with it raised, you want to bring that right arm to the outside of that left knee again, coming in for another twist, opening up the chest to this left side over here. Make sure to really root down through all four corners of that right foot and engage the core, engage the back, engage all the muscles in that right and left leg, just allowing everything in your body to support you here. If this feels good, stay here, or if you'd like, reach that left arm out towards the back of your mat and maybe bring the gaze to the fingertips. Now the gaze could be back at your fingertips, or it could be on a fixed point at the wall behind you. Having a fixed point can definitely help you with your balance. And if you falter, if you struggle a little bit with your balance, go ahead and forgive yourself and just try to get back into it. And on the next exhale, release everything down. This time, on the inhale, raising our right leg up, 45-degree angle, maybe flexing the foot, bringing the left hand to the outside of that right knee, and twisting open to our right side. Holding here if that feels good, or maybe releasing the right arm back. And then maybe once we've really rooted through everything, we feel very solid and good here, maybe bringing that gaze towards the back. Holding here, extending the spine, standing tall. Maybe your foot is on the floor and you're still just taking that nice open twist. Just doing whatever feels good for you today. On the next exhale, maybe push a little bit further into that twist. And inhale, exhale, releasing everything down to the floor. From here, we're going to go ahead and stay in your same position at the top of your mat. I'm just going to face this way to show you. We're going to head into tree pose to really just focus everything on our balance. So from here, go ahead and raise the left foot or the left heel so that you're on the ball of your left foot, and rotate that left leg out just to where it's comfortable. I find to help find my rotation, I like to put my leg out straight, flex it, and then just rotate it out. And wherever it stops, that's the angle where my leg should be pointing. Definitely don't, you don't have to aim for a 90-degree angle if it's not available to you right now. Just go where your body naturally wants to. And if you want to just keep the ball of the foot on the floor and hold, tuck that heel by the ankle of your right foot, then go ahead. And you can just balance right here and bring your arms either to heart center, out to your side, or up above you, just wherever they feel most comfortable. If you want to try something a little more challenging, go ahead and float that left foot up along your calf and maybe bring it up all the way to your thigh, maybe using your left arm or left hand to help guide it there, placing it there. And you want to feel engagement all through this left leg and through this right leg as it's rooting down through the floor. Engage the core. Make sure that your back is engaged as well, helping keep your spine straight, helping keep everything lifted. Even though this is a still standing pose, there's still a lot of movement happening within the body. Notice all of those little micro adjustments that you're making, that your body is taking to maintain this balance that you found. Again, if you falter at all or fall, offer yourself some grace. We all fall sometimes. One last deep inhale. Exhale, releasing that leg to the floor slowly, maybe releasing the arms. And then on the next inhale, we're going to raise the right heel up, maybe bringing that to, or bringing it to the outside or the inside of our left ankle. And maybe just balancing right here, or maybe we bring it up along the calf, balancing here, or even using the right arm or our hands to help guide it there, bringing it all the way up to our thigh, engaging everything, remembering all of the stuff mentioned before, engaging both legs, rooting through our left foot, engaging the core, engaging the back to keep that spine nice and lengthened. Maybe you decide to take a different arm position here, just listening to what your body feels, what it wants. Maybe this side is different than the other side. Maybe your balance is a little stronger, or maybe it's a little more wobbly, and that's just all right. Feel all of the energy within you, even as you stand here tall and still. And one last deep inhale. Exhale, releasing everything slowly and controlled back to the floor. All right. Now I have one more challenging balance pose for you today. This one is definitely a little bit challenging for me as well, so if I fall, just know that it can be expected. Some days I have good days and I can hold it really well. And other days I don't, and that's okay. Because every day when we show up to our mat, our bodies are going to be a little bit different. So we're going to bring our legs out to a wide leg position, if you couldn't already tell. And go ahead and rotate that left foot out so that it's parallel with the length of your mat. Bring that back leg in at a 45-degree angle. Again, we don't want it to be rotating out too much that it's going to create tension and tightness in our lower back. So just bring it to a 45-degree angle or whatever feels good to you. From here, we're going to rotate our shoulders out to the side. And try and keep our hips rotated as well, not letting them come forward like this. We want everything to be lengthened out as if we're traveling along a flat plane right here. Reaching these arms out, feeling the strength and the energy coursing through them, we're going to begin tilting over to our left, but we really want to be reaching with that left arm out as far as we can. We don't want to be collapsing this side in. We want to try and create as much length as we can through that side as we slowly make our way and lower ourselves down towards the floor and come into a triangle pose, bringing that left hand to the outside of that left leg. If you need a block here to support your hand, just go ahead and hold that right here. Or if you can, go ahead and touch the fingertips to the floor. And when you're here, just note where everything is at. Try and really stack those shoulders, stack the arms so that there's a straight line of energy from the sky to the mat. Keeping both of those legs straight. Feeling length through the side body here and here. From here, if you want to just keep holding triangle pose, go ahead. But if you want to try that balance that I was talking about, we're going to go into a half moon pose. So from here, go ahead and bend the left leg, maybe using your left arm to help support you here, and lift and straighten that leg, bringing the back leg up, and then lift everything so that your spine is in alignment with your raised leg here. Still keeping your shoulders open wide, and just hold here. Maybe if you're ready, maybe bring a block here to help support you. Now maybe if you're ready, in this position, bringing your gaze out to the side or even up towards your fingertips. And if you ever fall, you can go ahead and try to bring yourself back into it, or just enter back into that triangle pose. But if you feel most comfortable keeping your gaze just at the floor, then go ahead and stay there as well. And exhale, drop that back leg. If you're in triangle, go ahead and raise up with us and come back to that neutral position here. And we're going to go ahead and rotate that right foot. And we're going to go ahead and rotate that right foot out so it's parallel with the length of our mat, bringing that left leg back in at a 45-degree angle, about at an angle here. And from here, keeping everything open, everything straight and strong, reaching your arms out, feeling that length. We're going to begin reaching forward with the right arm. And keep reaching as you bring it all the way down into that triangle pose. Keeping everything open here, stacking the shoulders, maybe bringing the gaze up to the fingertips. From here, bending that front leg if you want to go into the balance. Bending the front leg, lifting the back leg up, and then straightening that front leg, holding here, bringing length through the spine, through your leg. Maybe raise. Maybe lifting your gaze to the side or up to your fingertips up here, if that's available to you. But this definitely takes lots of practice. opening up into our half moon pose. Holding here for one more breath. Exhale, releasing back down from either half moon or triangle, and raising all the way back up to standing. Whatever you were able to accomplish or do right there, thank yourself and be proud of yourself. So from here, go ahead and slowly make your way, lowering to the floor. And we're going to go ahead and come into a seated forward fold, really giving ourselves the stretch that we deserve after all of that. From here, if you want to just stay seated upright, then go ahead and stay here. This can be a very intense pose, even for advanced yogis. Even just sitting here as we engage everything, it can be a very challenging pose. We want to keep the legs straight here. Still want to have maybe like a soft bend in those knees, or, well, maybe not a bend, but we want to keep those knees nice and soft. We don't want to lock them. We want to keep them soft so that there can be a little bounce, but try and keep them straight. Then we want to keep our back as straight as possible, lengthening through the spine, making sure that the hips aren't tilting back, but trying to tuck them in, tilt them in here, engaging the core. And maybe just standing tall here, dropping the shoulders, lengthening the spine, looking up, flexing the feet. This can be quite intense right here, so if you feel comfortable here, just go ahead and stay right there. But if you're ready, go ahead and begin hinging at the hips, coming forward as far as they let you. Maybe that's just right here, maybe it's all the way down. But just trying to focus on keeping that spine straight. Even though I can reach all the way down here, I want to try and just create that length through my spine. So even if you can reach further, try and just feel the stretch happening by the hinge of your hips and not through any bending in the back. If you can, as you lean forward, slide your hands down your legs, maybe reach the big toes and hold and grab them with your fingers, coming into a bind, still creating length through that spine. And maybe from here you can pull yourself a little bit deeper, or you can just stay right here, keeping everything pulled up, pulled in. Hold here for just a little bit. Maybe with that exhale, pull yourself a little bit further. It can be just even the smallest amount, just to feel a little bit further, feel like you're going a little bit further in that stretch. Really listen to how your body feels in this. And exhale, releasing everything, maybe rising back up, or just sort of relaxing everything back. And from here, we're going to go ahead and push with our hands, bringing our bottom up, and we're going to lower slowly down onto the mat, going vertebrae by vertebrae. And from here, we're going to go into some back bending poses. I'll show you a couple different variations, and when we reach one that feels the most intense but still good to you, if we go ahead and stay there. You don't have to attempt anything that your body is not ready to do at this time. Just really listen to where your body is at. From here, we want to bring our feet pretty close towards our bottom, and we want those ankles to be directly underneath the knees. We don't want them to be too far out. This will rob us of a lot of stability. So bringing those feet in, ankles directly underneath the knees. From here, we're going to place our arms firm on the ground and press into them. And as we do that, we want to raise our hips off the floor. We want to really engage the core here, tucking the core towards your back, so really pulling it in, tucking everything in there, and then continue lifting, feeling that lift through the hips. Maybe we tuck the core in just a little bit more, release down, and then push a little bit further.
making sure not to let the knees flop out, engaging those legs, keeping the knees pulled in and in a nice, strong, parallel position. Pressing through those arms. And just, if this feels good, stay right here. If you want something a little bit deeper, go ahead and keep pushing and pushing until you get to a point where you can't really push further. And then from here, begin tucking those shoulder blades towards the back of your spine, sort of raising your spine up off the floor, maybe interlacing the fingers behind you, and then pulling those finger laces back towards the back of your mat, pushing those hips up and forward a little bit further, coming into a deeper back bend here. And go ahead and release all of this. If one of those felt good, go ahead and stay in one of those positions. If you want to attempt going into your wheel, I'm going to go ahead and show you how, but if your body is not feeling it today, then there's no pressure at all. But if you're going to try your wheel, again, we're making the same checks, ankles directly underneath the knees. You want them about hip distance apart, maybe just slightly wider. At least I like to keep mine just slightly outside. From here, make sure that your spine is straight, that everything is strong. Bring your arms up and over, and your hands, place them firm and flat on the back of your mat behind you. If your hands can't make it all the way flat on the floor from right here, then that's usually a sign that you're not quite ready for wheel at this time, and that's just okay. From here, we don't want our arms to be too far out and too wide. We also don't want them to be too close in right next to our head and our neck. We want to keep them shoulder distance apart. So from here, making sure that those elbows are tucked in, keeping those legs tucked in as we go up as well, so that nothing is flailing out. From here, if it feels good, press into those hands, lift those hips, and come up onto the crown of your head, still engaging, pressing through the feet and the hands, giving that head support. And you can go ahead and stay here, or if you're ready, push and lift all the way up, and push your hips up and back, and maybe attempt to straighten the legs. They don't need to go completely straight, but just sort of imagining that idea of straightening them helps to push you forward more. And really push into this. And then when you're ready to come out of it, tucking the chin so that you have a nice flat back to sort of land onto, and lower down vertebrae by vertebrae, and slowly release everything back to the floor. Releasing here. And breathing. From here, we're going to go ahead and hold one of those positions one more time, just to really feel that bent, feel that great release in our back. But go ahead and take whatever position felt best to you. If you want to go into wheel, go ahead and do that. Because of my wrist, I'm just going to stay in one of the lower bridge positions. And from here, from whichever position, again, making the checks, making sure that your ankles are below your knees. If you're going into wheel, making sure that your hands are flat, shoulder distance apart, and that everything's strong. And lift up into whatever position feels good, and take just a few breaths here. One last deep inhale, and exhale, lowering everything back down, releasing everything to the floor. From here, go ahead and shift on your mat so that you're in a nice position laying on your back. Feel free to take a seated position for Shavasana if that works better for you. While lying here, first adjust yourself, make sure that you're very comfortable. Maybe bring those legs out a little wider than hip distance, maybe your mat width apart, so that they can really relax, and sort of just let them flop open. And bring those arms and let them relax at your sides as well, letting them open wide at your sides, palms facing the sky. adjust your spine so it feels nice and straight and in a position ready to relax. From here, soften the gaze or close the eyes, and we're going to enter to our final resting pose, releasing everything, Shavasana. From here, bring awareness to the breath, where it all began. Notice how your breathing feels right now. In this position, remind yourself that you are clean. You, after working and stretching all sorts of different areas of your body, but this is your time to release, to relax. You've done enough. Let all of the tension go. Just relaxing into the floor. And as we scan our body, imagine softening each part, beginning with the crown of the head, and then softening the forehead. Soften the eyebrows, the eyes and eyelids. Soften the nose, the lips, the chin, the cheeks and jaw. Soften your tongue. Soften the ears and the back of the head, letting it sink a little further into the floor. Soften the back of the neck, the front of the neck, the shoulders, the upper arm, the elbows, the forearms, the palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the fingers, fingertips, back through the fingers, through the hand, through the wrists and forearms. Soften the elbows and the upper arm, the shoulders, the shoulder blades and upper back, letting them melt into the floor. Soften the chest, and then your stomach, your lower back, the hip sockets, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, the heel of the foot, the ball of the foot, the toes, the arch of the foot, the front of the foot, and then the ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs, back through the hips, the stomach and lower back, the chest and back, the shoulders, up through the neck, the chin, mouth, nose, the jaw, the ears, the back of the head, the forehead and eyebrows, and finally the crown of the head, letting it all go. Continue scanning the body. Or maybe take this time to refocus on your breath. And just let everything relax. Let everything go. Slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Waking the body. Slowly. Curl to the side of your body. Bringing everything in. Staying here for just a moment. When you're ready, lift up, coming into a seated position. And when you're ready, slowly open the eyes. I'm Annie Fox, and this is a 60-minute full-length VINYASA flow class themed around really resetting everything in our bodies
Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. And bringing the hands to heart center, together we say, Namaste.